you ready? I said, are you ready for Let's Talk Whoa Hockey? And now, here are our hosts, Beth and Zach.
What's going on, hockey world? It's your girl, Beth, from Let's Talk Whoa Hockey, joined, as always, by my dude, Zach. Haha, the streak lives on. Number one, we're starting over. How are you doing today, buddy?
Doing pretty good, actually. Work today, but I'm off tomorrow. But a lot of exciting news going on. Got a contract to a house already, so just waiting for it to sign some papers and get a house. So hopefully within the next month or so. But yeah, we signed a contract. It's crazy, but I'm actually gonna have my own hockey office, the podcast, and do everything else from. So
that's exciting.
Things are looking
Kelly's
good.
Obviously very excited about it too. She has a lot to say. She's right in the microphone.
Without fail, every podcast she has to jump in just because. She's like, "Hey, I'm here.
Hey.
How's it going?" But how are you doing, Beth?
I'm doing good. It was a long day. I mean, I think this podcast, we're going to play a game of how long does it take for my hair to dry? Because I just got out of the shower like 30 minutes ago.
I say about another 30 minutes.
Yeah, probably. So, but as always, we are brought to you by our friends at Level Up Snacks and In the Clutch Apparel. But we have an awesome guest today. I'm super excited to bring him on. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, always.
All right. So, Hockey For Everyone Jacksonville. Welcome to Let's Talk Whoa Hockey, our friend TJ James. How are you, TJ?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. You're in your car. You said you had a breakdown, so.
I'm not actually in my car. I'm in a friend's car, but yeah, there was a car issue, so we're doing this a little off. So.
No, it's okay. We are just happy to have you here. I'm actually rocking some of your merch, so absolutely love it.
Love it.
And it's a great organization. I'm so glad that the Icemen have taken part in, participating with you guys. We had our first ever Hockey is For Everyone night this season, which was very exciting. So let's hear a little bit about you. What made you decide to start Hockey For Everyone Jax?
So I'm from the north. I was born in Montreal and grew up in Maine. And obviously, I'm a Mariners fan. And they had a hockey night that was dedicated to inclusion. And work brought me down to the south. And, going to the Iceman games, I kind of felt like it was very whitewashed. They weren't really doing anything that felt special out of the norm to me. So I started having conversations with them about, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. And, it's been a painful process, kind of slow moving. I just feel like, in the hockey world, to be brutally honest, it's very, catered to white people. The sport, most of the players are white. The people that go to watch it, white people can afford it. And I truly feel like every organization should be tied or attached to something that, opens the door to everybody basically, and creates a safe space for people to either play, watch, and enjoy something that we all love. We're all here to talk about hockey. So, I started the conversation with them, and they were a little hesitant at first, but we tested it out and it was really successful. And, going into the next season, we're going to have some really great stuff that I'm excited about. So.
Yeah, I'm super excited. You and I have been chit-chatting, and I was excited for the first night. Me and my friend Jackie, we were texting like days before, like, okay, so this is happening. We got an email. We've got to show up. I mean, I showed up in my Pride overalls with my with my Hockey Diversity Alliance ally shirt. I had knee-high rainbow socks on. I mean, we were dressed to the nines, and it was nice that the warm-up situation happened, but we both were left wanting more. I'm sure you were as well. But it's nice to see continue.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they gave me a couple of days to choose from, and it was either fan appreciation night or faith and family night. So
that's a choice. That's a choice.
That would have been
very contradictory,
to say the least.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was kind of them being funny or whatnot, but I think fan appreciation night was a good way to kind of kick it off. And I'm part of the Iceman Puck Hitters group like you are, and I put it out in there, and it was really nice to, because hockey fans are pretty brutal when it comes to like inclusion nights. They get really pushy. They think it's like a political move on parts of the organization, and it's interesting that Hockey For Everyone Jax actually was started by no one from the Icemen. So this is one of the few organizations that really kind of had something a little bit not pushed on them, but is being supported from people from the outside. So the puckheads have been really supportive of all of it, but it would have been nice to have a little bit more. But that night literally was Hockey's for Everyone. It was the fan appreciation night. It was the food festival. There was so much going on. I think the fact that the Icemen used pride tape, they let us do a ceremonial puck drop. There was Hockey for Everyone sweatshirts everywhere in that arena that night. So, it was special. It was good for the first try. So I think they were testing it to see what the response was.
No, for sure. It was definitely great to see. And I know Zach and I are both big advocates on, we don't really like to say hockey is for everyone because right now it's not. We're big proponents of hockey should be for everyone because
Yeah.
it should be an inclusive sport, whether it's members of the LGBTQ community or it's, members of color, women. I mean, pretty much the whole gambit. Hockey should be a sport that everyone gets the opportunity to love and appreciate, just like we all do. I mean, I've loved the game since I was born, basically. And there, until recently, there wasn't even really a place in this game for me to participate on any sort of competitive level. And even as a fan of hockey, like to have an opinion, there we get told that we don't know what we're talking about, and we don't understand the game because we never played the game at a high level. And it's like, okay, I don't think you've ever spoken to me about hockey, so please tell me how I don't understand this game.
It's always great when people tell you how you should feel.
Yeah, it's always great when it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I've got hordes of people who would probably be able to refute that knowledge. I know Zach would probably be the first one to be like, I'm sorry, sir. What did you just say to her?
yeah. Let's just say hands might be thrown because, probably one of the top 5 people that know hockey as much or probably more than I do, which is saying something. So yeah, it's like you trust me, this is not what the path you want to go down. Pump the brakes a little bit before something,
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's tough.
Now, I know our aim, especially with this podcast, I mean, we do talk mostly about women's hockey. We cover the Blackhawks too, but they're not doing anything exciting recently. So we talk mostly about women's hockey and, I mean, our love for that side of the game because it is such a different game competitively. If you were to speak to just our listeners, we'll give you the platform. What can they do to be a better ally to everyone who loves this game?
I mean, I think just be better listeners. And I mean, as far as an ally is concerned, like I said in the beginning, it's been a very whitewashed community as far as the hockey world is concerned. And even breaking it down further than that, like you said, with women in the sport, it's a very male dominated sport as well. I think that people just need to be patient, accepting, and listen to their friends, their allies, their neighbors, because, right, it's not like it's just people coming in and taking over. And I think that people grasp onto things and they feel like this is my safety zone. Like people get threatened by things like pride or, African American History Month or, things like that, a women's march, anything that they don't understand, they feel threatened. So when you go into a bowl or a barn and you've got a bunch of men with all this testosterone and they see a pride flag or a group of female who are, saying, oh, that's a bad call or something that they feel they have knowledge about, they get angry about that stuff because they feel attacked. They're in their safety net, right? So it kind of goes both ways. We have to respect their space, but it's also our space as well. So I think that it's a two-way street, people understanding and listening to each other and really just having conversations and understanding, why do we do an inclusion night? Why do we have, women's hockey leagues? It's conversation, really. It's just civil conversation.
I don't know if it could be said any better because I know our friend Bailey recently had an encounter with a male hockey fan who basically told her that her opinions were nonsense and she had no idea what she was talking about. And I don't know if I've ever been more proud of like she's 21 years old. And so she very easily could, what I would have done at 21, just shrunk down and been like, yeah, okay. And just walked away. But she didn't. She stood firm on her opinion. She and other people around us were like, no, she's not wrong. Her opinion is actually correct. This is why your opinion is awful. Like, you need to understand that she knows the game just as well as you do. And she actually, kind of stood up for herself, which is not something, I mean, I was born in the 80s. That's not something I was raised to do. I was very much raised to, just don't start a fuss, walk away, don't do anything, don't violate the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So it's nice to see that change in the tide for, women, minorities, people of, the LGBTQ community actually taking a stand and saying, we are in this space too. I mean, there is an openly gay NHL prospect right now. He's, drafted by Nashville, and he is absolutely amazing when it comes to social media and interacting with fans. You've got Curtis Gabriel, who is an outward ally, who has pride tape on his stick every game he plays. You've got, Braden Holtby going to pride marches and, waving a gay pride flag and just having the time of his life, showing the world that like everybody is important. And I think that that's something that is lost on a lot of people, which is why organizations like yours are so important.
Yeah. Can you still hear me? My AirPods died. So
yes, we can still hear you. You're good.
I literally had to go buy new ones for the podcast and they're already dead. So I'm so disappointed, but I think it is important. And I think, Luke has reached out to me via message. I've had several conversations with him. He's a great guy, but Jacksonville is a tough market. And we are not here to create any waves, but we are here to create a voice and a safe place for people. That's literally all it is. And it's not super focused on just the LGBT community. If you notice in our logo, it literally represents more skin tones, and pride. If you want to stand up and show off that beautiful look. Love
that
it.
pride tape, which is amazing.
Yeah, there's some pride tape in there too. Pride tape fully supports us. They've sponsored us a couple times and donated some money to us. So, there's some really exciting stuff coming up that I can't talk about. We had a meeting with the Icemen over at the Igloo. We got to have a full tour of like the construction zone. It's like a war zone over there, but I saw like the bar and the restaurant, we're going to be doing youth scholarships. I can share that. Each month there's going to be a youth scholarship that we sponsored. So we're going to do, community outreach through youth. And we're also going to try and bring in some people, in the categories of minorities that are homeless, that are under the age of 18, so that, they have like a safe space so they're not like out on the streets at night, right? Doing some things that aren't, bad choices. Get them into the arena, show them something that maybe they aren't very familiar with, but we're going to have some dedicated seats in the arena for each game that are basically our Hockey For Everyone seats. And we're coordinating that right now. We're trying to figure out exactly how to do it that's cost effective for us, because obviously we are a nonprofit. I'm trying to work with the Icemen on that right now. So that'll be cool. And, just like Northeast Florida AIDS Foundation, there's so many different communities and places that I'm trying to work with to bring them inside the Iceman arena. And they're working with us for, just a dedicated inclusion night. We're going to have our own night with nothing else going on a Saturday,
Oh, so, even better.
Yeah, even better. Yeah. And this past time, I think, we got like a $10 kickback from the ticket sales. This time they're willing to give us 50% of every ticket sold. So, they're taking, and I think that shows that they do have a lot of passion for the community and for the people, of Jacksonville. So it's special. It's a really feel good moment to just start something. I kind of had an aha moment one day when I woke up. It's like, I'm kind of tired of seeing, white people in our Jumbotron. Not that I have any issues with Caucasian people, but it's a military town, and I get it, and I get their demographic, but we can do better,
Well, and I would be remiss if we didn't kind of talk about the hard thing that happened this year, because I mean, Zach is aware of the situation that occurred back in January. Iceman player Jacob Panetta was actually ejected from a game, and it was called as a game misconduct for a racial gesture. And it was against Jordan Subban. Obviously, it made national hockey news. It was talked about on the TNT broadcast, NHL Network. I mean, it was a big deal. And I know you and I have kind of talked about the situation and stuff like that. So as a white woman, I mean, obviously I come from a place of privilege. I don't understand what it's like. What are other ways that we can kind of support players of color, people of color, when it comes to the game of hockey? I mean, what would kind of be the best sort of outreach for us to do, or the best things for us to do to kind of spread the game and spread the love?
You know, I think one of the best things about Jacksonville, and me saying, you know, seeing a lot of Caucasian people on our board, is so we are a very diverse city, right?
Mm-hmm.
So literally just reaching out to places that serve those diverse populations that aren't, you know, socioeconomically privileged, you know, maybe like you and I are, to get them to come into our barn to see, you know, hey, this is a safe, fun, family-friendly environment. You know, I don't know if the Panetta incident, you know, yes, it did get national coverage, but it may not have reached and trickled down to the local, you know, it did get local news coverage, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it had an impact on our people of color in Jacksonville that was completely negative, that would turn them off to the Icemen. I think that incident was, you know, isolated in the sense that it was poor in taste. You know, he may not have intentionally made a racial gesture, but I mean, I'm going to honestly say it definitely was. It was racial.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that you do not do. You just don't do it. If you were flexing, I don't care if you were trying or not trying to make a monkey, you know, posture or pose. It's 2022, and we respect people of all, you know, colors, you know, sexualities. We don't make any references that would even allude to stuff like that. That's just ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I don't think that the Icemen handled it well. And I've publicly said that to them.
I have too.
But I think the best way to do that is just to bring more people in that would appreciate the sport and would really see above, you know, the fact that we're better than that. We're better than that as fans. We're better than that as people, and the people of Jacksonville are better than that, because, you know, as fans, we've really gotten a lot of bad backlash from that as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people have called us racist, and I don't think that that's the case. I really think that it was an isolated incident, and it does not represent the city of Jacksonville. And it doesn't certainly represent our fan base.
No, I would say it doesn't represent, like, at minimum 95% of our fan base. I know the only disheartening thing I felt from our fans after that was the game against South Carolina at home the next time, where fans made the decision that they were going to boo Jordan Subban every time he touched the puck. My heart broke. I stood at the glass at warmups wearing my Hockey Diversity Alliance shirt with my Iceman jersey off. I got more stick taps and head nods from an opposing team that I think I've ever gotten in my entire life, because they appreciated that, like, not everyone feels the way that others did. I know, obviously, Panetta served a part of his suspension. He completed the courses he was required to take through the NHL Diversity and Inclusion program. The only thing, honestly, I wish would have happened is some sort of actual public apology that meant something. Not a qualified apology, which was all that we got.
Yeah, they really kind of backtracked. I think that they really had an opportunity to make something of a terrible mistake, or an intentional, you know, gesture. And they kept making like these for the record. Once again, this has come up, and it really just made the organization look bad, in my opinion. And, you know, that was also one of the things that kind of motivated me. You know, okay, I kind of feel like, you know, enough is enough. Like, my roommate is Black, and you know, it really bothered him, that whole situation, and he really didn't like how the Icemen handled it. And I just thought, like, what is something that we can do to bring people together rather than like this division between people who are standing behind a situation. And, like I said, Hockey for Everyone isn't just for, to celebrate pride. It literally is for everyone. It's for people who can't afford hockey. It's for people who are disabled. It's for people who want to play hockey and can't play. That's why I was at the Igloo to talk about youth scholarships and getting kids in there for the development camps. And even at the adult level, if they can't afford, gear, there's money. I have money in there to support people, that can't afford to get in there in the Ice Igloo to help them play if that's something they want to do. So we're here literally for every flavor across the board. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but we literally are here to support everyone and anyone that needs support in any capacity they need it. A shoulder to cry on, someone to talk to, an inclusion night. We celebrate everything. So the Pineda thing really is disheartening, but I honestly, as a fan and speaking off the record from Hockey For Everyone Jax, just kind of want to move past it. I don't want to, discredit what happened and forget, but I'm really looking forward to next season, and I'm hoping that Pineda doesn't really represent the Icemen in that capacity, I guess.
I would have to say the same thing. I mean, Zach, obviously you're kind of the outsider and you don't live in Jacksonville. So
used to, not anymore.
Long time ago, Zach lived in Jacksonville, but he's actually in South Carolina now.
Yes.
I know you saw a lot of the internet.
Oh yeah.
Explode after that. I mean, he was kind of my like shoulder when all of this happened, because I was like, obviously this doesn't represent me. We have, prominent members of the NHL media coming out and saying that every Jacksonville fan is a racist.
Yeah.
And like that was very hard for me. And I know it's probably very hard for you as well, TJ, but like Zach was my person that I went to. I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like I'm being called a racist because of something that I had nothing to do with. And he was kind of my person. So, I mean, like as an outsider kind of looking in, do you see that like that is the impression of like Jacksonville fans or?
No, I mean, unfortunately, every fan base is going to have, certain groups that kind of are out of pocket. I mean, we just saw it recently with a Rangers fan absolutely just cold cocking a Lightning fan, knocking him out after a game. Like, unfortunately, like, the Blackhawks ran into a certain situation as well with fans being stupid. It's just unfortunately every name of sport, there's going to be a group involved somewhere that ruins it for, wants to ruin it for everyone. And then everyone thinks, oh, well, stay classy, insert name of team here. And it's just, no, I don't think it's all of Jacksonville. Like you said, that's not 95% of the fan base. It's just that small group that wants to, act stupid for no reason. And for the fact of national media people saying that, oh, it's all of Jacksonville, that is a massive blanket statement. That's also not very helpful. Like, all you're doing is making it worse by grouping a whole fan base together. That's not what a whole fan base is like. So I think that is also kind of damaging as well, because you're not really helping the matter. You're kind of making it worse. So for me, it's like, it's not all of Jacksonville fans. Like I said, I went to school there for 3-4 years, like in Jacksonville. So it's like, I know what Jacksonville is like, and then Jacksonville is not like that. So it's just, I don't think it's the fan base as a whole. Like, that's not what the fan base is like. So it's just people making it worse, from the smaller part of the fan base, and then people outside national media just doing the wrong thing by making a blanket statement that should not have been made, in my opinion.
Yeah, it blows my mind how quickly it got out of control in the media, and the amount of attention it got. Literally the next day it was national news. I just the Icemen, like I said, the damage control was not there from the top down. I mean, they just could have done a better job of handling it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is why crisis management firms exist. Like, their sole existence is to handle things like this. And I feel like maybe they should have employed one, because it definitely got a lot worse before it got even a semblance of better. I'm all for second chances. I'm not sure if I agreed with Panetta's suspension being shortened and him being brought back in the same season. I think that the full suspension should have been served. That's just, my opinion. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes kind of a situation.
Pretty much.
I know I'd messaged Zach several times. I was like, I feel like he kind of learned his lesson, because, I mean, his defense was, well, I've done this before, and he hasn't done it again. So hopefully that means a lesson was learned. I don't know. I'm not in that locker room, so I'm hoping that a lesson was learned. I know it was tough for everybody after that.
For me, it's like, I hope he's on the team next year, or at some point he gets traded.
I mean, for people who are listening to the audio version, they're probably like, wow, it just got really quiet. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see TJ and I's reaction. About
that.
About that. I mean, you wouldn't be alone in that feeling. He is on the protected list, which means we are eligible to sign him or trade him for next season, unless he signs in a different league. So
that is very unfortunate.
Yeah, but I mean, they pretty much protected anybody who even like smelled an Iceman sweater. That's pretty much the standard in the ECHL. There were names on there. I was like, I don't even think you played a game. Who are you?
if you have a heartbeat and can skate somewhat, you're pretty much good for the play in the East Coast League.
Yeah, if you signed a standard player contract, you are eligible to have your rights retained by an ECHL franchise. So even if you didn't play, if you signed on the dotted line to fill a hole, especially when taxi squads and COVID was a big deal back in January, you are eligible to be protected.
Honestly, I think that Nick Luco probably is most likely going to, because I think he's an amazing coach. He did not have any time to pick any players. He was pretty much given, he's going to have the ability to hand pluck whoever he wants this time around. And I don't think we'll see the same team besides the ones that are, obviously on AHL contracts that we are obligated to take from Hartford, which I think is hard. And who am I trying to think of? It's a defenseman that plays for the Everblades. I'm having a blank moment, but I think we only have 2 people on the AHL contract. So
Jake Elmer was on an NHL contract. That's actually his warm-up jersey over there.
Maybe it's then, yeah.
There.
Yeah.
It's one of those somewhere.
It's the one with the big blue squiggly line on it that has a whole lot of boxes that you guys can't see because it's too far away.
I think, is that his last name?
Who?
Berzola,
yeah. He was on, I believe, a Hartford deal as well.
Yeah, so there's 3 of them, yeah. So, I mean, other than those 3, he doesn't have to take any of them. So it'll be
several guys have already signed overseas, so we'll see how it shapes up. So I know you said you were born in Montreal. Are you a Habs fan?
No, I'm not actually. I'm a Leafs fan.
Oh, buddy.
First round curse, yeah.
We're so sorry.
It is what it is. Whatever. They look.
Zach and I had this discussion, at least this first round, like they didn't leaf. Like normally the game 7 is just a full and absolute total meltdown. But this season, like the Leafs didn't leaf. They just got bested by a team that has now advanced to the Stanley Cup Finals for the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah. I thought they played really well, to be honest with you. I was really happy. I didn't think that they would advance, but I like the overall.
Yeah.
I did pick them to at least make it to the second round, and you know what? I felt optimistic a little bit to give them somewhat of. I make fun of them a lot. I wanted to try to bring some good juju for once. I guess it didn't work.
Yeah,
I tried.
I unfortunately I saw the writing on the wall when I built my bracket. I had Tampa winning in 7 because I just know how the Leafs curse works. I full on expected them to just leaf like they do every other year. I was glad to see that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I kind of actually, I think from what I remember, I think I had Leafs Canes in the Eastern Conference Final. So my Eastern half of the bracket was absolutely just decimated by round 2.
At this point, my bracket is beyond broken. I at least got one team right.
I have one team in the final, and that's Colorado.
Yeah.
That is exactly it.
I got one team right. Outside of that, I got nothing to offer anybody because the rest of it is a disaster. I had the Kings beating Edmonton in the first round.
Same.
I
had the Hurricanes winning it all in 7 games against the Avalanche.
Yeah, about that.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Yeah. I had to take a week off from hockey just to get over it.
He did. He took a full week off of like watching hockey, talking about hockey. Like from when we recorded our podcast, that night was the night that the Hurricanes were eliminated, right? They played on Sunday?
No, they played Monday. It was
they played Monday.
Day.
So the next day, like from that day until we recorded the next Sunday, he didn't really talk about hockey at all.
So you're a Canes fan, I take it.
Yes.
He's a Canes and a Blackhawks fan. You can kind of see the Blackhawks flag just a little bit in the corner. Boom.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but I feel the pain every year, so I'm not really that sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
it's fair.
I was born and raised a Blackhawks fan. I've been through a lot of pain.
I've liked both these teams since I was 6 back in '97, so it kind of just worked out that it was at the same time. So I've seen 4 cups in my lifetime, and I was actually at one in person. So I'm not too upset about it. So I'll take it.
So you're in Maine right now. Are you, I guess, visiting family?
Well, actually, I split my time between Maine and Jacksonville, and Nova Scotia a little bit. I spend the summers up here because I really don't like the summer in Florida. So.
I don't. I'll like it here in South Carolina, so I don't really blame you one bit. It's not fun.
I'm up here for right around like 11 weeks, and then I'm going out to Washington for 2 weeks, and then I'll be back down in Jacksonville.
Okay. We actually have, I'm pretty sure Yarmouth is in Nova Scotia. We have a couple Nova Scotian friends.
Yep.
So they are part of our hockey crew. His name's Alan. He's a firefighter. He's awesome. And we've got a couple others as well. But now you said work brought you to the South. Do you work in like hockey or?
I don't work in hockey. I'm actually a music producer. So I can anywhere I want, but I kind of was like, oh, I can go down to Florida and, some warm weather. And then COVID kind of like, studio time, the studio would close for like 3 or 4 weeks because someone would get COVID, and then it would be open for 2 weeks and then close for 3 weeks. And then I still wasn't done my work. And then winter came, and I'm like, well, I can be here for the winter. Like I don't have to deal with snow. So I'll just stay here in the winter. And then by the time my work assignment was done, I was like, I kind of like it here a little bit. I'll get here and stay here in the wintertime and part of the, spring. And then I'll have my place up in Maine. I'm a diehard Mariners fan. It was the Portland Pirates before that. I just love like the history of their barn, and like, I mean, the Mariners like logo is genius to me, and their franchise.
It's fantastic. It's probably like an easy top 5 minor league logo in general. It's so great.
And thank you for saying that, because people laugh at me when I say that the Maine Mariners logo is like top 5 or top 10 easily.
It's easily top 5. It is absolutely fantastic with the Triton and the M the way it is. It's basically just like the Mariners baseball team, except instead of straight down, it's just sideways. It's absolutely fantastic. How can you not enjoy that? It's so clean and so minimalistic. It's perfect.
And then when they announced that the affiliation with like the Bruins, so basically Maine has all 3 Bruins affiliates now, which Boston affiliates. So it's like a trifecta. It's perfect. But when I found out that the Mariners were coming to Jacksonville for the first time, I was tickled. Like I was so thrilled. And I got so much crap from the people in my section when I wore my Mariners jersey. It was like they wouldn't even speak to me. They were so angry.
I remember that night because I sit in 109, so I can see your section. And it was a little quiet from some of you guys that night. And now at least I understand why.
I mean, you really can't blame you though. I mean, because you're kind of, from that area for the most part. I mean, that is like that's originally your team. So it's like there's nothing really wrong with that. I mean, it's just one night. Now, if they face each other in the playoffs, that might be an interesting situation. But I mean,
we're gonna have to sew 2 jerseys together for you if we ever face them in the playoffs.
Oh gosh, no, please don't. No, that is an ultimate sin to hockey jerseys. Please do never ever.
I would never do that, but it didn't help that Jacksonville lost to the Mariners either. So I mean, I was living it up hardcore. They were not happy with me. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up in Norfolk, and the first Admirals Iceman game that I went to, like there was an actual struggle. Like there are so many Admirals jerseys in this closet. And I was just looking at them all like, what do I do? Like, I don't even know what to do right now. I had friends texting me like, so are you struggling to figure out who to root for? And I was like, you know what? Now I'm not. Let's go Iceman. And they were like, that's rude. I was like, what? You brought this on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't. There was a struggle until you asked me if there was a struggle, and then the struggle was gone.
You know, it's just that their barn is not, like the ViStar Arena is so big. And it feels like even when we sell out, it doesn't feel like a sellout, because like we don't open up the upper, but at the Mariners barn, it's much smaller and more intimate. So like it's loud, and I think it's only like 6,000 people is like, that's like capacity without standing room. And there's just like, there's like what 40 years of hockey history there. So it's an old hockey town. So it's so much fun. And, anytime I get the chance to go up there in the winter, I buy like a flex package every year and get, like 10 games just in case. But it's just so much fun. I just have such a great time with that team. I love the Icemen too. I mean, it's all good. It's all good hockey. It's just different hockey.
Yeah. I will say that the few times the Icemen have opened up the upper bowl for games, they've done it for every year for the school day game. Which is just a whole nother level of loud. And they did it a couple of years for Military Appreciation Night, because they have all the tickets that they give out through Vet Tix and the USO and stuff like that for those nights. And when that upper bowl is open and filled, whoo, it is loud. Especially when it's like 10,000 screaming children, because that's like a whole nother level of like, I wear my AirPods, I have music going, because it is a lot.
I used to work for a minor league baseball team, and we had like that noon, like I think like 11 a.m. noon baseball game when it was Kids Day. No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks. And the bad part was it was like water balloon day. It was like a water park day. So like we had like water guns and water balloons. Everyone's like bring an extra like clothes because you're gonna get wet. I was just like, no, I'm not here for it. It's like I came here to work and watch baseball, like not have to worry about kids. Like, no, thank you.
I think our school day was probably the highest attendance all season. Yeah, it was really crazy.
Yeah. Every year it is, because they open up the upper bowl so that they can bring in more kids, which is great, because I mean it's introducing a lot of kids to the game who wouldn't have the opportunity. I know throughout the course of this season, there were several times where like kids would be sitting next to me with their families, and they're like, I came to my first game this year with my school, and I told my parents that we had to come, and they just get so excited for the game. I know I sent Zach the workbook they sent out, because there was an entire page and a half in there about women's hockey and about the PHF and about
that was really
Manon
cool.
Rayom, who was, the first woman to play. Even it was preseason, but she played in the NHL. She was on the ice. That to me was amazing to see. The fact that they had women at the ECHL All-Star game from the PHF and the PWHPA was another like huge move for inclusion.
Well, also too, like we also have like women or girls getting drafted in the CHL as well, like in the juniors. Like we actually have people.
Progress is happening.
Finally, it only took her a number of years, but we're slowly getting there at least.
Yeah. That All-Star game was definitely one to remember for the books. It was great to have some ladies on the ice. It was just the whole year was, even though we had some really, really bad moments, and not even with Panetta, there are some other players that made some really poor decisions in other cities.
Yes, there are.
I don't know if you want to bring those up, but there's some really, really great things that happened this past season in Jacksonville with Jacksonville hockey. So I'm proud. So
yeah, I am not ashamed to say I cried at the ECHL All-Star game during warmups, like to see women out there on the ice, like playing with the boys. I mean,
normal buckets too, like no like fish bowls.
Sonya Shaver wearing a visor was just like, what is even happening right now?
Like Beth is also slowly trying to make me a Jacksonville Icemen fan. Like,
it's true.
Slowly trying to.
I don't. Who wouldn't be an Iceman fan?
Well, because where I'm at, it's either the Swamp Rabbits for the Panthers, or it's the Stingrays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the Capitals, and I'm like, no and no. So
lost me because their jerseys are literally, no offense, South Carolina, your jerseys are literally a Washington Capitals knockoff.
It is. It literally is, and that's why I can't do it, because it's just like no. And the Swamp Rabbits are with Florida, and it's like, I just can't do that. So it's Beth is like, why don't you become? Because I thought about doing the Ghost Pirates, but then once I heard who their AHL affiliate is, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's not happening.
A lot of Ghost Pirates fans, although we don't really play them a whole lot. I figured out they don't come to us very much this season, which I find odd.
I think we play them twice this year.
Yep, that's it.
Like the color scheme and the logo is really nice, but then when I saw who their NHL affiliate is, I'm like, oh no,
we're not fans of the Vegas Golden Knights at all. They are an awful organization.
Yeah, so that's why Beth is like, become a Jacksonville Iceman fan. Do it.
They remind me of the Publix jerseys we had this year.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Publix. I mean, from what Beth is showing from the Publix to the chicken tender sub jerseys, those are. One, it's an awesome sub to get in general, and two, that is a pretty sweet jersey. So I mean,
I've showed him the chicken tender sub. I've shown him the apron jersey as well. You didn't see our Public jerseys this year. They were not stellar. I did not purchase one.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Because I know the sub ones were really nice from the one you showed me.
I mean, you could always become a Mariners fan. I mean, I spread that word like fire. So
yeah, but see, that's a Boston organization, and I'm pretty sure that is a big no for Zach.
Yeah, but they had Broussard for 3 seasons before we got him, because Broussard was affiliated with Hartford, and the Mariners had Hartford and New York before we did.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
there's things to consider, sir.
Yeah. Like I need more teams to watch and figure out.
Who doesn't love more hockey?
I have also 4 computer screens and 2 TVs in my house. It's ridiculous. Watching all kinds of like AHL, ECHL, NHL.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to watch more AHL, but their AHL TV is not great. So it's like
it's very expensive.
It's very expensive for inequality stuff. Like I'd rather get Flow Sports and just watch the Coast. At least actually enjoy somewhat of an actual decent broadcast, rather than be like, oh, let me spend $100-something to get spotty service for certain games.
Yeah. I'm actually running out of daylight, Beth.
I see this. So before you run out of daylight, where can the people find you?
So they can actually find me on right now just Instagram. It's Hockey For Everyone Jax. If you look that up, you can find us right there on Instagram.
Yeah, we did tag your guys' profile in our guest announcement tweet. So we put like, go visit them on Instagram, and we dropped the link to your actual Instagram profile in the tweet, so that way people can go check you guys out. So we made sure to do that because we know you're not on Twitter, but I'm like, are we at least gotta drop the Instagram link so that way people can actually go check your stuff out. So we took care of you, TJ. We got you.
If you guys want this awesome hoodie, you can just message them on Instagram and.
I'm so proud of those hoodies, man. We sold so many of those. They just spread like wildfire. I don't know, like that after that game, there was just hundreds of people that wanted them. But there will be. So I will say this, and I think I told you this. There will be a special release version of that hoodie for the Hockey's for Everyone night, and I believe that the puck is going to be replaced with the Iceman logo. So,
which makes sense. It is circular, so I mean, it can be an O.
It works. Yeah. It works.
Had a heavy discussion about that. It's just a matter of figuring out who gets what with what money and where it's all going to go. So I mean, the Icemen are fantastic. They've been great to work with, and they're really good to us. So I'm really happy to be able to work with them.
No, absolutely. We look forward to more inclusion and diversity and all of that stuff, especially in our local game here in Jacksonville, but really across all hockey, because hockey should be for everyone. And one day, hopefully, we will be able to say hockey is for everyone and actually mean it.
Yeah, I think we're like, what are we like? Maybe like, is it safe to say like 20% there? Maybe 25%?
I'll 25%. We'll go 25%. Yeah, we're a quarter of the way there. We just need we need to push a little harder, work a little harder with organizations like Hockey Is For Everyone, Pride Tape, the Hockey Diversity Alliance, Black Girl Hockey Club. I mean, the list goes on and on. There are so many organizations out there that are working on making this game more inclusive and for absolutely everybody.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me, you guys.
Absolutely. You're welcome back anytime. We would happily talk inclusion with you any day of the week.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, TJ.
Thanks, TJ.
Bye, guys.
Well, that was a blast. I mean,
yeah.
As everyone knows, Zach and I, we are allies. So we definitely want to make sure that we can talk about organizations like Hockey For Everyone Jax and what they're doing to just expand the game and make sure that, you know, everybody is able to participate in the sport that we absolutely love. So before we get into hockey talk for the rest of the podcast, we do just want to go over all of the cool things and all of our awesome sponsors that we have for the podcast. Of course, we've got our friends at Level Up Snacks, formerly Shocked Hydrate, formerly Shocked Energy, but they have all the good stuff.
Everything.
Shocked everything. They are merging with Level Up Snacks, so I'm assuming there's gonna be food, which we are super excited about because I love snacks.
I'm really curious to see what it is because they have a chocolate bar on their bio, and I'm like, are we getting chocolates?
I'm so excited. I hope that we're getting chocolate because, like,
more
healthy
snacks.
Chocolate. I like snacks. Like,
who doesn't love snacks?
The protein bar / snack collection that lives in this house is slightly ridiculous.
Oh yeah, big stick taps to Bailey. She sent me some protein bars that I'm, absolutely loving. So good. Hopefully they sponsor us at some point, but
one day, and no free ads. So sorry to that protein bar company, but no free ads. And then of course we've got In the Clutch Apparel. They do have officially licensed merchandise for all sports, including vintage hockey, which we love vintage hockey. They've got Chicago Cougars. They've got the Atlanta Thrashers. They've
New
got
England Whale.
The new. So much stuff.
NHLPA, MLSPA, the whole. So many great things. It's just like Beth said, 100% licensed products. I mean, plus Beth, we have to drop all these discount codes because we have to drop the discount codes
on both of those websites. If you put in Whoa Hockey, you're going to get 10% off of your order.
Now, for those who don't know, Whoa Hockey is WOHAWKEY. Just that way, it's not confusing. That you know what they actually type in. So it's just the, if you look at our logo, it's the bottom part of the logo. The bottom part of the logo. Yeah.
And I mean, if you're listening to if you're listening to our podcast, then you can just look at the title of the podcast and it's that word as well. Whoa Hockey, WOHAWKEY. And of course, both Zach and I would be remiss if we did not mention our company sponsor, Canadips. So we are big lovers of the Canadips.
Fantastic
several
stuff.
Flavors. They are these adorable little CBD pouches. If you've ever dipped and instead of like putting in a lip, you put in like you get a dip pouch, like it's a cute little pouch. You just pop it in. There is no spitting. There is none of that. You just let it absorb into your system. You can swallow your saliva. You don't have to spit it out. Just don't swallow the pouch. Like, just don't do that.
Just
don't do that.
The good thing is, 10 milligrams per pouch.
Yep.
150 for the whole thing, which is like, 15 of these. You do one a night. You're talking a month. Or you're like me, who's like, I kind of want to double dip a little bit. Might run you a little bit short of a month, but I mean, for the fact that you get 10% off.
No.
Oh, sorry, 20. That's sorry, it's 20. Yes.
You go to CanadipsCBD.com. This link right down here, if you're watching, /BellyUp20. You're going to get 20% off your order. The shipping is awesome. It's discreet. It's not like, hello, mailman, this person has ordered CBD products. It comes in a really discreet package. It doesn't even say like cannabis or canadips or anything related to CBD on the shipping label. So you're not gonna have to worry about like your mailman being all nosy and trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, no, it's great. So it's like 2 cans with shipping, $19.98 with our coupon.
Yeah.
Like that's how great our discount code is. You're talking 2 cans, 30 pouches for $20.
Yeah.
You're basically spending like what, maybe 90 cents, 80 cents a pouch, basically.
Yeah, you're spending less than $1 a pouch. And
it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
2 cans lasts you a month if you're a single pouch a day person like me. If you are more than a pouch a day person, they do have really awesome like 3-packs that you can buy. So like I got this 3-pack of the strawberry cough.
That one's really good. That one's really good.
Stickers, which are still in my car because I haven't brought them inside yet.
Oh my gosh. I have the mango. The mango is really good.
I've tried the tangy citrus, which is good. It's like all of the citrusy fruits kind of all in one. It kind of reminds me of like a Starburst or
that's gonna be my next one because I really want to try that one. I'm really sad I missed out on the peach, but I definitely want to get the mango. I had the Maui Wowie was actually pretty good. I would recommend the Maui Wowie one, but I think the tropical one the one that you got, that one's gonna be next. I think every person is gonna try to get at least like 2 cans. So at least that way it kind of lasts me a month.
Yeah.
So
and then you can have like a can of what you love, and then you can have a new flavor to try.
Or just try all of them, and just try all new ones until you figure out which ones you like, and then just pick wherever you want, then and just go through all of them. Like they're all just great flavor. Like I honestly get all of them. They're just all so great. I mean, why not?
I mean, there's even like to give you an idea of how much Canadips loves Belly Up. There is a whole collection called the Herrera Collection, and it was built by one of our Belly Up personalities. So I mean. We love Canadips. Canadips loves us. Make sure you head on over to canadipcbd.com/bellyup20 to get your 20% off. It is absolutely worth it. It is amazing and wonderful, and you will not regret it, especially if you've got anxiety, pain. I mean, pretty much anything. If you have an issue, CBD is really for you.
Yeah, talk about being mellow. It's nice. Like
it really is. Like one of our friends was like, well, I use it during hockey games. I was like, no, I like hockey anxiety. That's the only anxiety that I like.
Yeah. Other than that, no thanks. I think the first night I tried it, I never felt so mellow in my life. Like I haven't been that mellow in so long. Like I actually got sleepy just from having it that one time, that first time. Now it's I'm kind of used to it, but it's like, wow, this is amazing.
It really is
great. Yeah.
It really is.
It's like I said, try every flavor at least once, get an idea what you like. Then if you want to get the same ones or switch it up every time, you can.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. Expand your horizons. Get all the flavors.
Get all the flavors. So
get all the flavors.
We have a little bit of pain to talk about, buddy.
Do we really have to?
We do.
I don't like it here, Beth.
Look, it's fine because we're gonna get to the joy in a minute. But
I mean, I do like the podcast, but I don't want to talk about the certain team. Like, do we have to do this?
But I love them, and damn it, I love them. It is what it is. But rumors started swirling that the Blackhawks.
Can we blame a certain person for starting these?
I mean, no, because we don't want to talk about their organization. But rumors have started that Alex DeBrincat's going to be traded, and I don't love it.
Can you talk about franchise suicide if you get rid of a guy that you could easily build this team around? Because we talked about this too. There is an attachment to if DeBrincat leaves, we also lose Kaner. Kaner said he will leave if Alex DeBrincat gets traded.
And my thing is, why are we not building a team around Alex DeBrincat?
I predict he scored 50 goals. He almost did it.
Yeah.
On a bad Blackhawks team. Patrick Kane had an insane year for assists and still led the team in points.
Yeah.
Dylan Strom had a resurgent second half. Like we literally have they even said dad line official. Like we literally have a dad line.
We have baby DeBrincat, who is so precious. Like Archie is just The picture I sent you the other day, Sherwood sent him like a little pair of like tiny human gloves and a little tiny human stick, and they are still too big for him. I'm assuming they were probably the smallest size that they could muster.
Yeah,
but we've got the dad line. Like, why are we not building around the dad line?
Yeah, like Patty Kane the third. I mean,
we've got baby girl Strom, who is precious, and Benny is also adorable.
I really can't believe that there's a possibility we might even get the actual dad line before it even gets a chance to get on the ice together. Like, think of all the dad strength on that line with those three. Like, that was the best line they had when they got those
Kyle
three
Davidson,
together.
Sir, I need you to listen to me. Like, look me in the eyes, Kyle Davidson. Do not make a stupid mistake and break this up. Like, those three made watching Blackhawks hockey this season bearable.
That's saying something too, because
it was painful,
especially the first 11 games of the season. I don't even want to remember that.
No,
first month and a half.
Like a decade ago. Like,
that's how bad that. Luckily, I had other hockey to watch to kind of not have to suffer for the entire season, because that would have been absolutely brutal.
Yeah, but like, please, for the love of God, like, we understand that we're going into a rebuild. Like, we get that.
Why?
But there is
a way
get
rid of them. Why
there
them?
is a way to rebuild this team around. You want to rebuild a team around somebody like Alex DeBrincat. Like, he scores goals. He is a good, like, human being. Out of everybody after the Kyle Beach investigation was reported on, Alex DeBrincat was the only player who came out and was like, this is awful. This is terrible. Like, I feel so bad for this player. He was like 11 or 12 when this happened. And
he was the most mature of the entire group to do it.
The most mature, the most articulate, like, not even just like he said the right things, like, he said things and he meant them.
Yeah.
Like that is a player you need in this locker room.
Can you imagine? And I really don't want to imagine this, but can you imagine if Kyle Davidson does do it and you got to trade him and Canner away? Then at that point, Dylan Strom doesn't have a contract yet either. Dylan Strom's like, bye.
If this happens, the return for those players would have to be absurd.
Oh, they have to be. Well, I think, isn't Dylan Strom a UFA though, or is he an RFA?
Hold on, let me refer to my notes from our Let's Play a Game episode, because I wrote all that down.
If he's a UFA, because I know he's one of the two.
I think he's an RFA, if I remember correctly. But let me refer to my list. Dylan Strom is an RFA, so
technically he's still technically he's still with the Hawks.
Yes.
But he could still be like, trade me.
He can.
Or someone can offer sheet him. And which I wouldn't be surprised if a team's like, hey, Dylan Strom, great second half. Come here for this money. Like, it's possible. It's very possible. And it's like we can either we're losing 2/3 of the deadline or the entire deadline's gone if they trade Alex.
Watching hockey is going to be so very painful if we do not have Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Kane.
I would tell you this. You might have to watch everyone else or have a second team if that does happen, because
I mean, I have my mistress team for this playoff, so it wouldn't be difficult to just make them my full-time mistress.
Same division is a little bit tough, but I kind of get it.
We've had this discussion. Nobody in the Eastern Conference even like interests me as a hockey team.
Really?
I said there are people on teams that I love and will watch. But
let's just say that one person you don't like on the Hurricanes is no longer on the Hurricanes next year. Could you be persuaded to join the bunch of jerks?
No, because there's really
Tavo. Yeah, Tavo.
Literally, Turbo is it.
That's her. I mean, Colorado is a good mistress team. I don't blame you for that. So, but yeah, I would say, yeah.
Even just like the core guys are just. I mean,
you do have a Nazem Kadri and a Cale Makar jersey. I mean, it's not really. I'm just waiting for the jersey to be purchased at this point.
I mean, here's the thing: if I made a wager with a podcast friend that I would buy a jersey
if the Avs win it,
if the Avs win, and I had them pick the jersey for which I would be purchasing.
Oh gosh! Please don't be bad. Please, I hope they're a nice friend and like.
I may soon be the proud owner of a Curtis McDermott Avalanche jersey.
No.
Yes.
No.
I may or may
veto. I would have to. I have to veto the name.
I love a rough and tumble guy. Okay, like I'm okay with having an enforcer jersey. That doesn't bother me.
I would really get a Cogliano. I can't say it with a straight face because even Kyle would be like, "Sir,
sir, no."
Well, like anyway, like a Lehkonen, get a Lehkonen jersey, or get
I'm okay getting a Curtis McDermott jersey. Like it doesn't bother me. It's not something that anybody's really gonna have.
That's like you'd be very, very unique jersey for sure.
There aren't a plethora of Curtis McDermott jerseys out there.
Here's the question though: is it the home or the third?
It's either gonna be the third because I love that jersey.
That third is pretty nice. It's a nice third.
I'm interested to see what next season's reverse retro jersey will be.
Even the current reverse retro would still be a nice addition, honestly.
Yeah, but see, they didn't wear the. I don't think he was on the team when they wore the.
Oh, that's
reverse retros. So
whatever it is next year.
I'm interested to see. Because, like, I really hope it's the Yeti foot because that is a sick shoulder patch logo.
For me, that reminds me of Adam. That reminds me of an Adam Foote. Like I would get an old school mid 2000s Adam Foote jersey if those still existed, and then I could actually get it to wear it. I would find one in my size though. That's the main question. But we were also talking like what co-host ECM, so it's still possible because those things ran large. They ran large for those jerseys.
There's another part to this wager.
Oh gosh.
You weren't there to stop me.
No. Wait. So, where was I for this?
You were on your hockey break.
Oh, was this in the group chat?
No, this was in the Twitter Spaces.
I completely missed it. Yeah, that's what. Oh, right in the middle of my Twitter. That was my hockey break. This happened. Oh, this is a bad time.
It was either on your hockey break or it was one of the spaces that you didn't attend. But
It was probably either one or the other. What's the other?
I'll be getting an Avalanche tattoo added to my hockey sleeve.
Okay, what kind of Avalanche tattoo are we talking?
It's going to be the Yeti foot. Which is 100% acceptable.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I won't see what the problem is with that. Like, I don't.
Yeah, well, see, so I'll be getting an Avalanche tattoo and a jersey. So I just made really expensive bets. Like I go big or I go home.
Announcer Dad might have an issue with you a little bit.
You know what? I am his daughter and he loves me. So
that's also very true as well. So I mean, honestly, if it was any other type of Avalanche tattoo, it'd be like, Beth, please just we need to figure out how to get you out of this.
It won't be the main Avalanche logo. Like I even talked to like a couple of our friends, JJ, all of them. I was like, it's gonna be the Yeti foot. Like if I'm getting an Avalanche tattoo, if the Avalanche win the cup, and I'm getting a tattoo, it's gonna be the Yeti foot. Like honestly, I am so obsessed with Pavel Francouz's mask because it has like the little Yeti feet.
Oh, it's so great
on the chin, and it's just perfect.
So wait, I have to ask, who is the bet with?
The Twitter space.
But you said it was a pot. Was it with Kyle or who was it?
Yeah, it was with their podcast.
It was with Von Doom. It was Shaggy Von Doom.
Well, it was the podcast pair. I'm unsure if it was Chris or Kyle on Instagram answering the post, but it is what it is. You know,
a Curtis McDermott jersey, and it has to. Who gave you the tattoo? Then was that also them, or was it
no? That was all me.
I've been like, Beth, stop.
Look, I was left to my own devices. I made expensive choices. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
I'm eventually gonna get a Hurricanes tattoo because I need to get one at some point. It's just
you do.
It's gonna be a while though.
You just haven't. I mean, at least I have a really awesome tattoo guy, and he'll be like, absolutely, I'll do that for you.
Well, the problem for me is, remember, I'm also I got a house coming up, so it's.
It's fine.
I also made a promise to my amazing wife that I would wait until after we get the house to do it. So
well, and then you've got time. You don't have to do it like right now. But
no.
On the happy side of our hockey news, because that does exist in our life. We have
so we have to go back to the pain a little bit because we did to get sidetracked with the mistress team. Which it's I mean, honestly, at this point, you might as well just make him your mistress team because
right now they are a temporary mistress. They have not solidified themselves.
You're getting a tattoo and a jersey. At that point, they are kind of your mistress team.
Okay,
at this point,
see, here's the thing: I don't yet currently have to purchase said jersey or get said tattoo because the bet has yet to be fulfilled.
Honestly, though. Avalanche in 3 with a complete surrender.
Surrender is imminent.
Surrender is imminent.
Look, nothing will make me happier than to see Tampa lose.
I do not want to see a three-peat. I really don't want to see a three-peat because
nothing will make me happier than to see that team lose, especially given that just a few days ago was the 10th anniversary of the reason that I hate them. So
yeah, it also hurts too the fact that they don't know how to use Brandon Hagel correctly because he was fantastic with the Hawks.
Why is he on a checking line? Tampa.
He's not a checking player. He scores goals.
He scores bagels. He scores bagels.
He was second in scoring for the team. Second. He scores bagels.
Why is he on a checking line?
He's big goals who scores everything bagels. He's big goals. Like literally, like
they're not utilizing Brandon Hagel properly, and it makes me mad. And that just adds fuel to my hate fire. So
yeah, it's just, but
sad. Go ahead, hurt me some more.
I mean, it hurts me too, but it's like if it does, who would you even have left? And plus, what kind of return would you even get? Like,
we'll have Taves. And Seth Jones forever.
Shoot me into the mother effing sun. You'll never hear me cuss, but that's the closest I'll get to it. But shoot me into the mother effing sun.
Did you ever watch Veronica Mars?
Yes.
Did you watch the most recent season that Hulu did like a year or two ago? It was like right before COVID. Okay, so Veronica and her dad make a bet that they're not going to cuss. Or they're not going to say the F word. So instead of saying the F word, they just say cuss.
Uh-huh.
So like cuss you.
Yeah. Oh my
or
gosh.
Mother Cusser. So it's on Hulu now. You have to go watch it. Like
okay.
I would highly recommend if you haven't watched it, watch the Veronica Mars movie first.
You have to do that at least.
And then watch season 4. And if you want to just be refreshed, watch the first 3 seasons of Veronica Mars, then watch the movie, then watch season 4.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to do it, honestly.
It really is.
But if the return has to be absolutely monumental, but even then, like,
here's the thing, like,
who takes Kinger's contract? And
I don't know.
like what?
How much of that do we have to retain?
Well, at least it's going to have to be at least half. So you're talking about.
So now our rebuild is crippled.
$5 million. Well, because it's 10 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
If you take half of 10 and a half, you're talking
$5.25 million. Who? Yeah. Like that? Then you're.
Oh, that's a steal. That's an absolute steal for the team that gets Canner because you're only talking $5.25. Yeah.
But for the Blackhawks rebuild, that is a rebuild killer. So. Yeah, Kyle Davidson again. I tell you, look me in the eyes.
Well, plus, what team you're going to ask 2 different teams to break the bank to get DeBrincat and Canner.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm hearing like New Jersey's in for DeBrincat. And I'm like, okay, who are you going to send over? Jack Hughes.
We're gonna get Jack Hughes, everybody. We're gonna get Ryan Graves.
Hey, don't let Alan hear that. Do not let Alan hear that.
Who can Jersey send us that would be worth Alex and Patty?
Well, no. I mean, they want to go to the same team. It would have to be Alex. So you're talking Alex DeBrincat. You're talking Alex DeBrincat. You're probably talking. If it's not Jack Hughes, I won't even say Nico Heischer because he's their captain. So Heischer's off the table.
New Jersey, can we offer you a Jonathan Taves?
Dougie Hamilton. Get Dougie Hamilton.
We should have gotten Dougie Hamilton instead of Seth Jones.
Yeah, you could then get Dougie Hamilton's 9-something with Seth Jones's 9.5, and have 18 million locked up in your top defensive pair. The reverse Toronto Maple Leafs with like 40 million and 4 guys. Then you get almost 20 and 2 defenders.
I don't like this.
Like Mackenzie Blackwood, maybe, if you're really going for a goalie.
No,
I honestly, I don't know. There's
the return would have to be more than draft picks, because here's the thing. Draft picks don't always turn out to be good NHL players. So don't give me 47 draft picks.
Even first round picks aren't always that great. So like, I don't.
You don't often get a Patrick Kane,
honestly,
or Jonathan Taves, a Cale Makar.
It would, if it's an Alex DeBrincat trade and even a Patty Kane trade, you're talking a 3-team trade. Bare minimum has to be a 3-team trade, and it could be Jersey and whoever else. There's no way it's a straight up for one team. Like there's a third team who's going to have to be involved with both of those trades easily.
Here's the thing: there is really nobody on the market that I think is worth an Alex DeBrincat or a Patrick Kane.
There's guys out there, but for a rebuild,
there's nobody out there.
There's no players there. All the established guys are stuck with where going to be with, like, even if you get Jacob Chikrin from Arizona.
Yeah.
Who do you like? Unless Clayton Keller and like Nick Schmaltz are a part of the trade.
Please, no. We no longer trade for former Blackhawks players.
To be fair.
No, to be fair. Do not to be fair me. We no longer trade for former Blackhawks players.
I agree. I agree with you, but we got to give a little bit of props to Nick Schmaltzy. Schmaltzy has an absolute. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to
as much as I would love to have him back, we do not bring the gang back together.
We've seen that never work, and it just doesn't. So unless like it's a Jacob Chikrin and like Clayton Keller, in that trade, heck, bring Nicholas Jarvison back.
Hammer, come out of retirement.
That I'll be okay with bringing him back because he's absolutely also, he's a beauty. But
can we talk about just a minute how this is episode 12 and this is the news that we have to talk about?
We're talking about Alex DeBrincat again, possibly trade on the Alex DeBrincat episode, which we forgot to mention. Okay, John Madden is episode 11 from last week because we forgot to mention that.
We did because we're awful. It's fine.
So it's
ADHD for the win.
It's just me completely forgetting for that. But yeah, John Madden's episode 11 for last week. Alex DeBrincat this week. It's just
for me, last week was absolutely Adam Gaudette.
You know what? I'll take Adam Gaudette because he is the hockey god.
God, those tattoos. Woo.
Fantastic. But on the Alex DeBrincat episode, we got to talk about Alex DeBrincat being in a trade rumor. How about the fact, too, that him and Dylan Strom were part of a particular space that was talking? Even Nick Olczyk was part of that space, too.
I know.
Like, bruh.
I know.
Bruh. Nick Olczyk.
Part of me thinks like,
they'll all have to be laughing at this, but it's
for sure. They were all in their listener mode, just like, do you hear?
But still, though, like that's so brutal. Like I said, unless it's Arizona, you would have to get Chikrin and Clayton Keller at best, maybe. Like
Phil the Thrill, we can get Phil Kessel, guys.
Like LA's not breaking up all their young guys. Like, we finally got Alex Turcotte. which I hope which I kind of wish we drafted in that draft, but he's not coming. I mean, Vancouver's not going to send any of their guys over because who are we going to get? OEL
you mean we can't get Pedersen?
Do you think Vancouver's going to give Elias Pedersen? Please.
I know.
Please.
Can we start talking about happy things now?
We might as well because like we can run through the entire list of teams that we could probably get guys for. They're like they don't want to go to a rebuild. There's no one wants to go to a rebuild, especially when you know that you're possibly talking getting rid of like 2/3 of the best line we got.
Here's the thing. If someone wants to come to Chicago, it's because they want to play with Patrick Kane.
Yeah, if Alex O'Brien gets
And
straight,
Alex,
and guess what happens? Patrick Kane also leaves. So,
yeah.
Are you coming to Chicago for the food?
Yeah, are you coming for the deep dish and the Chicago dogs and Wiener Circle? Like, we know that
No,
that's not
no. I'm sorry. Hot take. I'm not a big fan of Chicago deep dish. It's just it's too much.
You have to find your own, because there's several versions of Chicago deep dish. So you just have to find the one that best suits you.
Yeah.
There is a Chicago deep dish out there for everyone. So,
oh yeah, for sure. It's just
on to the happy news, because we are running out of time. So we have to talk happy. So PHF signings. Yay. So
we're here for free agent frenzy.
Free agent frenzy. So
finally,
our beloved Connecticut Whale. They
I don't want to talk. No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Re-signed Torrey Howard.
Okay, this I am happy about. I thought you were talking about the other thing.
No, that's a different team. We're not there yet.
Okay, cool.
And they also signed to her first PHF contract, Katrin Lonergan.
Awesome.
She played for Clarkson University. So we've got 2 more whale in the pod, 1 returning, 1 brand new.
So what you're saying is we have 2 whales in a pod.
We do have 2 whales in a pod. I believe that was also 10 players signed in the pod for next season as well.
Ooh.
Because number 8 signing was Amanda Conway.
Double Ocho.
We have Torrey Howard and Katrin, so that makes 10 if my math is correct.
You know, then it's fantastic how we love all of our double Ochos.
It's true.
We have Patty Kim.
It's true.
We have Amanda Conway.
Conway.
Yeah. Which
Lavisa.
At some point, Amanda Conway jersey has to get purchased because
you got to make it happen.
Yeah.
So then we've got the Buffalo Buttes, who have done some signings as well. I mean, they're at this point, I feel like they've already signed a whole team, because it's like every other day it feels like the Buttes have signed somebody. So they have signed Claudia Kepler, and they have re-signed Autumn McDougall. And then the one that Zach doesn't want to talk about, but we have to talk about it because it's our job. We're going to start with the happy part first. So the Metropolitan Riveters have re-signed Kelly Babstock.
I mean, Babs is just you kind of have to with that.
And then the sad part for the Whale Pod, Taylor Martin has signed with the Metropolitan Riveters.
I'm not here for it.
It makes me sad, but we do wish her all of the best, because no matter what, she will always be a member of the pod. She will always be a whale. Once a whale, always a whale.
Yeah, just like Anya. Queen Anya.
Exactly.
She's always a whale.
Also, I'm sorry. Did you see the Avalanche's pride picture that was drawn up by Flyers Witch on Twitter?
Oh,
she is Madison and Anya and Waylon in it. Like,
she drew herself in there too.
I know, but I'm sorry. The first thing I saw.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, but
was Madison, Anya, and Waylon. Like, they're right at 12 o'clock in the picture.
Her designs are so great. Like the Hurricanes one she did was really good. That one for is really. Like, I don't think there's ever a graphic that she has not missed on that they're always fire. Like,
yeah, the only thing I have an issue with is she pretends like the Blackhawks just don't exist, and that's a whole nother conversation for a whole different day. But we do have additional signings as well from the Toronto Six. They have re-signed Emma Woods, and they have signed as well Lexi Templeman. She is from the Ohio State University. So they've got 2 more signings there as well. And for you Pride fans, we're so sorry your team still hasn't signed or re-signed anyone, or at least announced them.
Because half their team is going to Montreal.
I mean, at this point, like, are the Pride going to field a team this year? Like,
hey, you know what? I got validated last week with our last week's guest. He's like, you are not wrong. It's very highly likely that half that team's going to Montreal. I'm like, haha. See, I'm not crazy. My tinfoil hat does work after all.
But like,
who would have thought?
Boston Pride, come on, just give the people Katie Burt. Like, give them Jillian Dempsey.
There's still one name. There's still one name from Buffalo that hasn't been announced yet.
I know,
and I'm really curious to see how this works out.
I really want. I have heard rumors.
If she's coming to the Whale, I'm
that
here
is not
for
the
it.
rumor.
Oh.
I've heard rumors that she is going to Toronto.
Oh, interesting.
So it'll be interesting to see if that rumor comes true. That goalie tandem would be beautiful.
That'd be a three-headed monster up there in Toronto.
Like insanity.
But the thing is that we want her paired. We want her in Connecticut though, because she's got ties to Connecticut as well, though.
But also,
we have a lot of goalies out here too, though. So I mean,
we have Abby and hopefully Fuji. Abby's been re-signed. Hopefully, Mariah Fujimagari gets re-signed. I mean, Fuji was lights out last year. Several shutouts, imagine more than one.
Imagine that three-headed monster though, with Abby Ives, Fuji, and CJ.
It would be sick.
Oh my gosh! Come on, who doesn't want that amazing mullet on the Whale? Like
beauty,
imagine
beauty.
Imagine the helmet.
That would also be a cussin' beauty.
I'm
gonna make this our thing, Zach. You can look at me all you want to, but cussin's gonna be our thing.
Oh no, I'm fine with it. I'm just.
You cussin better be.
I'm just daydreaming the amazing
I know
goalie mask that's designed for Tough Mustard. Oh,
look.
I'm manifesting this.
Her goalie mask designs are all top shelf. Just
honestly,
I
still want to get her Winter Classic Buttes jersey. I'm not a Buttes fan, but I still want that jersey that she had.
It was beautiful. Those jerseys were clean.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the only non-Whale jersey I get is just that because of how nice those were. They're so clean.
I need to start a jersey savings account.
Yeah,
because I
trust me.
I need to. But we are coming to the end of the Alex DeBrincat episode of Let's Talk About Hockey.
Well, speaking of teams that speaking of just women's hockey in general, we did release our top 5.
We did release our top 5, and there are plans in the works. So you should stay tuned to the socials, which our Twitter is at the goal. Our Instagram is at the goal. Our YouTube is now 4 followers away from the goal to unlock the giveaway.
Oh my gosh, we're actually that close?
We are that close. We have 21 YouTube subscribers. So go subscribe to YouTube if you are listening to this podcast. Don't you want to see our pretty faces? No
one's here for this though. I mean,
it's fine, whatever you say. But go to YouTube, you hit the subscribe button, and then you hit the little bell, and then you click all so that when our episodes drop, or if we have a live episode, you will be notified.
Live episodes? I don't know. I mean, it has to be something pretty special for us to do a live episode.
It's true. We do have some special stuff coming up, but we're not going to tell you about it here because you have to go check out the socials.
I mean, you have to.
You have to check out the socials. So, Zach.
Beth.
Where can our humans find you on the cussing internet?
I mean, humans and their pets. I mean, who doesn't say the pets have Instagrams or Twitter accounts?
That's true.
We also love it. We're very pro animal here. So I mean,
Kelly actively participates in this podcast.
This is probably the worst episode she's ever tried to interact on this podcast.
She loves me. It's fine. She loves me.
Yeah, but you can find me at One True Zach on Twitter. It's ONE True Zach. No, it's not spelled it's not the number one. It's actually spelled out like that. It's not like the Oneaters. So yeah, it's just One True Zach on Twitter. Beth.
Yes.
Where can people find you?
So
on the cussing internet.
On the cussing Twitter, the people can find me at Wonder Beffers, which is wonderful, not the number one.
I wonder what happened to the Oneaters?
Exactly. So Wonder Beffers, of course, all of our socials are linked in all of the descriptions with our link tree. And you can also find our podcast on Instagram and on Twitter at Talkwo Hockey Pod. You can find us on YouTube at Let's Talk Whoa Hockey. We even have a Gmail address. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, random factoids, interesting information, fan mail, if you just want to tell us like you love our pretty faces and you want to see them more, or you want to see more of Kelly, or you want Zach to actually like post pictures on Twitter of his dog, like you can send us an email.
Now, if you send us hate mail, we're gonna read it and then just like absolutely roast you. So I mean,
yeah, and we'll drop names because it is what it is.
Yeah. So we're putting it out there. If you send us hate mail, we're gonna out your name and we're gonna roast you on the podcast. I mean,
but also like our DMs are open. So if you want to be a guest on Let's Talk Whoa Hockey, if you want to talk PHF, PWHPA, Blackhawks,
college WoHo,
slide into them DMs. Be like, hey y'all. So you want to know why TJ was here? Because TJ slid into my DMs and he was like, hey, you have a podcast? And I was like, I do have a podcast. And he said, I want to be on your podcast. And I said, okay.
I mean, hey, Ian Kennedy reached out.
He did.
I mean, heck, we had Jenna Trubiano, we had Matt Parker,
they all reached out to the DMs.
In Indiana Tech too, which from what I've heard, very soon with Indiana Tech.
Who knows? So slide into those DMs, send us an email. Respectfully. Yes. I mean, we don't need any cussing eggplants or anything in our DMs, okay?
I mean, yeah, we don't need those right now.
We don't need any of that. Be respectful when you slide. So if you want to talk WoHo, if you want to talk Blackhawks, if you have questions, comments, concerns.
I don't blame you if you don't want to talk about Blackhawks because we don't either.
Most of the time we don't either. So it's fine.
It's okay.
I mean,
we get it. We get it.
We are entering a season of extra pain, hopefully a shortened season of pain.
Well, luckily both of us will have probably second teams to kind of cushion the blow.
Look, I have said this time and time again, hockey is my first love. I will always watch hockey. I will probably watch hockey on my deathbed. I will want them to put on like the 2015 Chicago Blackhawks Stanley Cup game where they clinched
at home
for
the first time in like forever.
47 years for the cup to actually get to the United Center because it was raining in Chicago.
That was an interesting. I was actually at Tara's parents' house for that game, and I was like white knuckling the entire night. Like I don't know how it's going. I caught the last like 2 minutes as I was leaving to go home. I listened to it on the radio.
It was, I mean, and then by the time you got home, you probably were able to see the cup presentation ceremony because it took like a significant amount of time for the cup to get to the United Center.
Yeah, I got home just as they were doing the Conn Smythe Trophy. So yeah. But
like,
I watched the whole game. I mean, luckily, me being smart, I recorded it ahead of time, so I just watched the next day. So I mean,
that was also like the greatest Stanley Cup parade speech ever.
Oh, there was
cussing right Chicago.
I mean, 2010s was pretty good too. Though. I mean, when you have a rapping Christopher Stieg.
See, I wasn't really for the Steger raps like Corey
Crawford.
Crawford's.
The Corey Crawford's is great. I mean, Duncan Keith. Does anyone have a good dentist? Like that was just so great.
That commercial the next year was great too. When he was like, "I lost 7 teeth to win the Stanley Cup. What's your one goal?" And I'm like, I don't think that was your goal, Duncan. I don't think that your goal was to lose 7 teeth.
No, but it's just, at least we got to see a good run for about 6 years. Yeah. So,
and then the bad, because our former GM made awful decisions. So many first round draft picks traded away.
Losing Joker for Nylander, which turned into, what did that turn into?
I believe Sam Lafferty.
I like Laugh, but
I like him. And he's re-signed. I was right about that.
Yeah, look at you.
He got an extension. Look at
I do have to say that Jason Waskey, can we make him our head coach? Because apparently his lines work perfectly for
Look,
NHL 22.
at this point, I'd take just about anybody but Derek King.
Supposedly he's not coming back, but we'll see. I mean, you know what? Bring Torts. Bring Torts to Chicago.
No, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I would love
Barry Trotz.
a Barry Trotz. Like Barry Trotz could fix the Blackhawks defense. Like,
who was the one that we were talking about offline that we kind of were like, we're all for?
I can't remember. We'll have to discuss that next week.
Yes.
Because we're gonna have to scroll through the DMs to figure out who it was we were talking about.
We gotta figure out who episode 13 is gonna be, because I don't remember a whole lot of 13 on the Hawks. So.
I don't either. So for me, Beth, for my dude Zach, this has been the Alex DeBrincat episode of Let's Talk Bull Hockey. We will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm Paul.
Thank you for watching this Belly Up Media production. Some said we'd go belly up, so we made it our name. And we're still here. Ha!